Om Shanti. How are you all? Hope you are doing fine. Today we are going to see the easiest way to convert negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Why should we convert the negative thoughts into positive thoughts? We do get thoughts all the time, but we don't put all the thoughts into action. It is only the thoughts that are predominant that we put them into action. Most of our thoughts are undoubtedly negative, if not all the thoughts. To see the effect of thought, in the early morning, if you want to wake up early and you have kept an alarm, and when you hear the alarm goes off, your mind will be immediately saying to you that you slept very late last night and doctor asked you to sleep minimum 8 hours and you feel very tired. If you wake up now, you are going to be tired and sleepy throughout the day. All these kind of negative thoughts, they come towards you, attacking you, so that you listen to them and go back to sleep. Or sometimes it will be like, okay, I really want to wake up at 4 a.m. but let me have a quick or else I'll just have a little more sleep, just 1 minute or 2 minutes. That's enough. By the time you open your eyes, it would be 7 or 8 a.m. So the next night you will be very determined that you will wake up early this time. Again, the same incident goes without any change. Again, your mind cheats you into sleeping. Why is this happening? Because forget about waking early. Even when you are waking late, this is what your mind always say to you. Let me sleep for some more time. So you will still be on bed, maybe thinking about something, don't want to wake up. You may not think of anything, but still being in the bed itself means you are programming your mind to have a little more sleep. So you have been programming throughout your life, and all of a sudden you want to wake up early. But the usual thought that comes when you want to wake up also comes when you want to wake up in the early after you hear the alarm. The same thought. That's why you want to sleep. Already you will be feeling very sleepy at that point of time because the whole world is sleeping. So if you listen to that, then obviously you would be waking only after sunrise. So how to change this thought pattern into a positive, fruitful one? By knowing this and applying this, you can transform yourself in any walk of life and achieve success. You can come out of any addiction like porn addiction or anything, because by changing your thought pattern, you can come out of any hurdle that prevents you from achieving success. For this, you need to understand how our mind works. The very nature of mind is thinking all the time. And do you know how the thinking works? It repeats over and over again. For example, if you are speaking with your friend on phone for a while, and after hanging up the phone, if you are cooking, then you will find your mind slowly just reproducing all the thoughts that were used during the conversation you just had. So you will be remembering all the things your friend said and all the answers you replied to him. Do you know what's happening? It is getting recorded. Just like that, throughout your life, in every second, your mind has been repeating every single action you performed. So that determines the kind of thoughts you produce. Since the world is filled with negativity, everything you see, listen, and speak, all are going to be negativity. It's more like a physical traditional library. If you want to search a particular book from the biology section in the library, from a very large library where the biology section itself is very large, but the book you want to find is very small, nobody searched for it, and there is only one copy of it. So obviously it's going to be very hard, not only for you but also for the librarian to find it. Such is the positive thoughts in your mind. It's very rare. You have never put even once in your lifetime that you need to wake up as soon as you have the thought you are already awake. So all of a sudden, if you want to wake up early in the morning, obviously you are not going to find any thought to help you to put that into action. Or else, if you want to find a book that is very famous, that everybody searches for, and there is many more copies of it in the biology section. Now it's not going to be that difficult to find, right? You don't even need the librarian to help you find that. You can find it yourself because it's going to be there in all shelves, at least 2 or 3 copies. And also it's going to be of very attractive covers so that it doesn't escape your attention. And another example is if you want to find a book from the biology section, and now whole biology section is filled with only that book. Now is it going to be difficult? No, it's going to be very easy. Just if you go there, you will see only the book you are interested in everywhere. So now you want to wake up early. For that, you need to have already put the thought that by waking up early, I'm going to achieve many things in life. I'm going to early reading many things so that I can impress my teacher and my friends with all the questions, and I can get more marks. I will have more time. I can meditate for long. So if these thoughts are already there in your mind for a very long time, then you will not find it difficult to wake up. It's going to be very easy. But how to do that? Unfortunately, it is only negative thoughts that fills our mind. How to replace them with positive thoughts? As I already mentioned, the mind always thinks, always produces thoughts, and those thoughts are just from the past record. Whatever you have recorded, it just takes it and start repeating it. Mostly it would be repeating very recent experience. But if there is nothing happening in the present moment, then it will go in the past and take something from that and start repeating it. But if there is something very emotional, either positive or negative, that happened in your life, then your mind is going to repeat it over and over again over many days, weeks, months, sometimes even years. Those are the thoughts that's very dangerous, that will affect you both emotionally and physically, because mostly the negative thoughts will last longer. Now the whole world is filled with negativity. They don't even know that it is negativity. For example, if you get angry, no matter what the reason is, it is negative. But the world, right from the school system, you are brainwashed into thinking it is good to stand for the right and fight for the right. To fight for anything, you need to get angry first. So that is how you spoil your mind. So once your mind develops the habit of getting angry, so it is very easy for you to get angry over several other things. You will reach a point where you will only create your angry thoughts towards anybody who meets. So you will end up in a psychiatric hospital, or even commit suicide, or become a murderer. So there is no doubt your mind is filled with waste and negative thoughts that's going to harm both you and everyone around you. So now we need to remove them and replace it with the positive thoughts. How to do that? First, nobody knows what is positive thoughts, because they think having the thought of getting married to a beautiful girl is a positive thought. Getting a job is a positive thought. Scoring number one in certain examination is a positive thought. Unfortunately, they are negative thoughts. They are not positive thoughts. Because if it is your aim to get a very beautiful woman or a particular woman, okay, somehow you got her. After that, she dies or leaves you for another man. What happens next? You become mad. You lose everything. You become a drug addict. All because of this so-called positive thought. Positive thought will never make you sad, either in the present time or in the future. If it does, it is obviously the negative thought. So what are the real positive thoughts? No human knows that. Only the God, the Creator, knows that. He comes to this world of negativity in the Kali Yuga, towards the end, just before the world destruction, and gives this knowledge through an old man's body, because he doesn't take birth like us from a mother's womb. He gives us the introduction about the history and geography of this world. This is the time cycle of 5000 years, where the first 2500 years is heaven, followed by the next 2500 years as hell. And the residents of heaven were called deities. And they, after taking several rebirths for the first 2500 years, they start taking rebirth in hell as normal humans and start experiencing pain and pleasure. But while in heaven, all they experienced were happiness. Whatever they see, whatever they hear, everything gives happiness to them. They were so rich, they were so beautiful, they were surrounded by animals that are loving to each other. Cow and lion, they take water together from a pond at the same time. They were so lovely towards each other. They don't feed on other animals. They feed on plants. And the deities were very rich. The palaces were made of gold and diamonds. But there will be no doors or windows for the palaces, because nobody in heaven knows about what stealing is. They don't lust on each other. They were as pure as God. They do get married, but they don't involve in sex. Husband and wife, when they have the thought of having a child, the wife gets pregnant. So nobody is addicted to the external beauty there. So obviously there won't be any rape or any criminal assault against any women, despite the fact they were the most beautiful in this 5000 year time cycle called Kalpa. But the situation changes as we progress to hell. We start getting addicted to the sensual pleasures, thereby become slaves of the 5 vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. These are the sins that we start committing in hell. We accumulate sin after sin, for which we are facing punishment in the form of diseases, natural calamities, poverty, and so on. And God comes in the end to rescue us from these sins by reminding us of our true nature that we possess in the beginning. Yes, we were the deities. It is us, me and you, who is listening to this video, were deities in the beginning, or else you wouldn't have this patience to listen to this video for this long. Only the deities will have the patience and the attractiveness towards the knowledge given directly by God Shiva. This God Shiva is called Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is one. God is also a soul like us. We souls reside in between the eyebrows as a tiny star that is so tiny that it can never be visible either through the naked eyes or through any scientific instruments. So is the God. He is also a soul. That is why he is called the Supreme Soul. The only difference between God and us is we enter this birth and death cycle that lasts for 5,000 years, while the God stays away from this cycle except in the end, where He needs to come to give this knowledge and enable us to enter heaven again through this knowledge. God says, while you were in heaven, you were not body conscious. Instead, you were soul conscious. You considered yourselves to be the souls naturally, and you will consider others to be the soul that is distinct from this body. It is the soul that sees through the eyes, speaks through the mouth. It is the soul that performs everything. It is the soul that thinks, because the mind is within the soul. While we were in heaven for the first 2500 years, we didn't know what negative thought is. There would be absolutely nothing negative there. We would be living 150 years on average. We will not be dependent on anybody. We will be so rich, so healthy, that we wouldn't even get a headache. So we would be peaceful, blissful throughout our life for the first 2500 years. But in hell, since we do commit sins, we will be experiencing punishment. We will be suffering pain and sorrow throughout our life. So all those sinful thoughts are negative. We need to remove those sinful and wasteful thoughts. How? By listening to God's knowledge that's available in all Raj Yoga meditation centers, absolutely free of cost. It's also available in many websites and YouTube channels. I will give some of the links in the description below this video, so make use of it, because that knowledge is called Murli. It is available in all languages. So we need to listen to the Murli daily, and the essence of that Murli is to consider ourselves to be the soul and remember God as a point of light. We need to remember Him lovingly as our Father. He is the Father of all souls. The more we spend time in remembering God as a point of light, you will see yourself getting rid of those negative thoughts gradually. So what you need to do is to remember God as a point of light, and in addition to that, you need to remember important or your favorite points from daily Murali. So you pick up some 4 or 5 points, and in that you take 2 points for half a day. Just keep on recollecting that within your mind, at least twice every 30 minutes, so that you will see that you are becoming happy, because you are instilling positive thoughts for the first time. You are experiencing the taste of it. So by doing that throughout the day, your mind is so busy with that positive thought, in addition to the remembrance of God. And also you need to remember yourself as the soul that performs through this body. Thereby you are becoming gradually soul conscious, because it is only by becoming soul conscious that you can enter heaven. The best time to do that is early morning, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. At least wake up by 4 a.m. It is very much possible. And you are listening to Murli daily. In that, he will be instilling the habit of the deity souls, which is to be loving, to be peaceful, and many other divine characters. And among that is waking up early. So he'll be saying the benefits of waking up early and also the loss if you don't wake up early. God says, whatever happens in one kalpa keeps repeating kalpa after kalpa. Which means if you are watching this video now, it obviously means you watched this in the previous kalpa on the very same day, and you will again be watching this same video in the next kalpa on the very same day, very same year. So, if you don't wake up in the early morning, you are going to lose the kingdom of heaven forever. In no kalpa you will be able to go to heaven, because what happens in one kalpa is going to repeat kalpa after kalpa. So on listening to this point over and over again, you will develop the fear whether you would lose kingdom of heaven forever, which itself will stimulate you to wake up early. So when you listen to alarm, this point of knowledge is going to come first, and you will suddenly be, no, I'm not going to lose my kingdom. You will be waking up. So God knows how to change you. Only He knows. No human can change you, because all humans are themselves the embodiment of negativity. How can you expect them to instill positivity within you? There is only one God. He comes only once in this entire kalpa, and the knowledge given by God is just one, that is Murli. So if you miss it now, you will be missing it forever, because as I said earlier, whatever happens in one kalpa, that's going to repeat kalpa after kalpa. This itself will stimulate you into doing only positive things, and to refrain you from all the sinful things and sinful thoughts. For example, if you have this habit of watching pornography, so after listening to Murli daily, but you were very much addicted to pornography, maybe you will be disturbed on watching, though you don't intentionally go after pornography, but while browsing through other websites like YouTube, you will again be confronting something that makes you remember pornography. So now you need to stay away from even the triggers that make you go towards pornography, like the glamour dance and so on. So even if you see it for 1 or 2 times after listening to Murli, when it comes again, and if you take that Murli point that this is going to repeat kalpa after kalpa, if you fail now, you are going to fail forever throughout the day. And while you were practicing this, if you come across such video, then the first thought that comes to your mind is you will be losing. Then you will be quick to move it away from your sight. So you are succeeding. You know what? You are instilling at that particular point in your mind that you are not the kind of guy who falls for lust. Instead, you are the deity soul who is ever pure, Because actions speak louder than words. Every single action you perform is preceded by thoughts in a subtle way. But instead, if you keep on watching pornography or pornography related materials, then you are instilling the thoughts, I'm addicted to it, I like it, like that. So obviously you wouldn't escape the next time you are confronting that. So you need to take step. You need to manage your thoughts. You need to watch your thoughts. And you need to program your thoughts. Program your mind with the knowledge of God, which is the true, positive, pure thoughts. So there are many women who have lost their husband and children to the recent pandemic, and they seek help. They say, please save me somehow, I couldn't forget them. We can only feed the children. It is the child's responsibility to swallow it. Likewise, our Father God, it is His duty to give the knowledge that helps us come out of all the negativity. But it is our duty to churn it over and over again throughout the day, so that our mind is completely free from negativity. Spend the first 3 hours of your day only in remembering God as a point of light and reading Murli, reading or listening to Murli. And the next 3 hours in remembering the points you read for the first 3 hours. So that will complete the first 6 hours of the day. And by this time, your mind will automatically become tired, so that you couldn't make any effort as forcefully as you did for the first 6 hours. So it will eventually create some negative thoughts from your past. But if you are determined to put this 6 hours of practice daily, what happens eventually is your mind is going to be filled with only positive thoughts. So even the last 6 hours of the day is going to be the creation of positive thoughts, because there is nothing but positive thoughts in your mind. That is very possible only through God's knowledge. It can never be possible through any human's knowledge or any knowledge from any religious scriptures written by humans. It is only through God's knowledge you can save yourself from depression. Even if you are in already depressed state, you can come out of depression very soon. But you need to follow it. All you need to do is to listen to Murli daily. If you are already in a very depressed state, you can't even think of anything, it's okay. Just let the Murli audio run. After completing a single Murli, replay it. After complete that, replay it again throughout the day. At one point you will find your mind very light, because you are forcefully instilling the positive thoughts, so that your negative thoughts are going away gradually, so that you will see that your mind is coming into your control. This is how you are replacing the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And for those who have lost their loved ones in this pandemic, the moment they get the past thoughts of their past life with their last ones, you should be quick to come out of the thought and start remembering the Murli point. Because if you let that past thought, then it will drag you down, thereby eventually you might even end up getting panic attack, which may lead to a heart attack, and it will cost your life. You don't want that to happen, because you need to take care of the rest of your family. And they are the souls after all. The love they showed you is the love showed by the soul, not the body. And the soul still exists. It's born somewhere. So what is there to cry? I know it's very hard if you are watching this video for the first time to accept that. But when you listen to Murli over and over again, it's going to be pretty easy for you to accept anybody's death, because you will be practicing seeing everybody as soul while they are alive. Only if you are not careful in practicing soul consciousness with others, then you will end up suffering at the time of the death. But it is smart to practice soul consciousness so that you don't suffer when they separate you from this world, or due to some temporary separation. Anyway, everybody has to get separated, and everybody and everything in this world is perishable. So getting attached to the perishable things and perishable beings itself is not an intelligent thing to do, right? So have your attachment and love 100% only to God, who is never destroyed. Just like we souls are not destroyed, and our Father Supreme Soul is not destroyed. So we need to establish all relationships only with the Supreme Soul God, so that you will get only the happiness out of all relationships when you have with God. But if you have relationship with the perishable humans, obviously you will end up getting hurt. You don't want that to happen to you or your family members, right? So take this knowledge and give this knowledge by sharing this video with your friends and relatives, because the world is nearing its end. Obviously it has to become hell only by the destruction of this world. But there is nothing to worry about, because we are imperishable soul. But it is covered with sinful thoughts which needs to be washed away. The only way to do that is through remembrance of God, and by repeatedly remembering the knowledge of God. There is no other way. By doing this, your soul becomes happy and fresh, so that it will be very happy to do anything at hand. It doesn't get tired at all, because it is only God's knowledge that keeps the soul ever fresh. You can practice it for yourself, and you can share your experience in the comment section. And if you like this video, please hit on the like button, and do share this video with your friends and relatives. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Thanks again for watching this video for this long.